It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
When this dead hand moves, the monster created by a man they called mad is turned loose to strike terror into the hearts of men. To shock women into uncontrolled hysteria.
Elizabeth!
To prey upon the innocence of children. This is the story you've heard about, talked about. The spine-tingling, blood-chilling story that stuns your emotions. Frankenstein.
Don't touch that!
Make sure there's no witnesses. When you leave, always bring a bag. If you leave witnesses, sometimes you might like doing these things and everything. At the wall, somebody might see them and say, that was him, that was him, that was him. Never let anybody point you out, right? Because if you get pointed out, it's very easy, all right? So let's say you robbed the 5 graves, all right? All right, for the first one, you might be able, you might get caught, all right? But if there's witnesses for the rest of them, you will get caught too. Why? Because they're gonna blame you for it, right? Because they caught you for this one, that means you most likely did the rest of them, and the judge will say it was you. Never leave witnesses. If you have to, knock them out so that way they think it's a dream. It's best not to kill, but if it's necessary, do it. But it's just best so you always have a nice dark bag. Not plastic white like this, why? Because you can see through it, right? You can see shapes. Use paper bags or a book bag that's leather or something like that, so you can't see the shape. So when you finally find the place, make sure it's secure and everything. Make sure you always bring more than one person. Make sure one person is outside. Make a test first. See see how much noise protrudes outside. Okay, you have to set somebody on each side to make at least 4 sides to make a lot of noise. All right, so the person on one side, you count out how much noise there is. You do that on each side around. All right, and that's be roads nearby. See how far that noise will reach. If it's windy, the noise will carry. All right, the noise will go far. Okay, it will go much more farther if it's windy. Okay, if it's raining, the rain will help you a lot. If it's snowy, the snow will leave footprints. If it's summertime and there's no rain, then that's, I think, the perfect time, except for one thing, the guards might be a bit active at that time. So what you do it is in around July when it's a little cold, you wear some nice warm gloves. The guards won't be as active and everything's going to be cold, exactly like you are. So that way they're not going to be active. So still gonna ride around, but not listen that much. So what you do is around, you know, when it's a little cold and it's not raining or snowy outside, you do it. In the summertime you can take the risk, but you know, they're a bit more active, so it's risky.
Beautiful when you were alive. You don't feel dead.
Did you know they were just robots?
No. I wrote it! I'm shot! I swear I'm not lying. Look!
I have not as yet been able to enlist the help of Satan.
With your kung fu skills.
At your family's insistence, you enroll at King's College in London to prepare for the consular service, but you already had an eye on the theater as a career, so in 1909, your mother having passed away, you leave King's College, Boris, and take ship for the greener pastures of Canada. As an actor, Boris?
No, I worked as a farmhand to start with.
Yes, you work your way westward across Canada to Vancouver, British Columbia. While waiting for that first acting job, how did you make a living?
Well, I cleared land, shoveled coal, laid streetcar tracks, did all sorts of things.
Then you hear that the Gene Russell Players in Kamloops are in need of an experienced actor. You apply and are accepted. But you hadn't any professional experience, had you?
None whatsoever.
Your only experience was, I think, at 10. What did you do in a play there?
Well, that time I used to live in Enfield, and every year at Christmas time they did a sort of a pantomime for 2 nights, and I played the Demon King in Cinderella.
And what was the play you made your professional debut in, Boris?
By golly, that was prophetic too. That was The Devil by Franz Molnar.
Well, you're learning your craft as you play with one stock company after another, rattling across the United States and Canada, moving from boarding house to boarding house, and often appearing in 2 different plays a week.
Let's prepare for a landing, Brad.
Okay.
In a 40G gravity atmosphere, a strange thing happens to man's body and mind. Barry Sullivan and Norma Bengell take you into the most fantastic science fiction adventure ever filmed.
Emergency! Emergency! Conditions desperate. Little chance of survival. Help us.
Mark, look!
What have you got?
The Galliot.
Bert, get me a fix on this right now. Wes, Brad, controls.
Planet of the vampires. Harboring a form of life worse than death. Planet of the bloodless. Creatures who take men's bodies, but attack like vampires.
I'll tell you this, if there are any intelligent creatures on this planet, they're our enemies.
In this outer space world, the living dead try to escape into life.
Salas. No, just his body. And I'm just one of many beings on this planet. And we're fighting to survive. It's imperative that our race continue to exist. We arranged for several of you to kill each other so that we could take over your bodies. You are our last chance.
No, never. We'll all of us give up our lives to save our own race.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please hang up and redial the number, including the area code. Announcement 5, switch 127-101.
Who became famous for her liaison with movie star Hugh Grant. She's here today because she saw a pimp on our show named Lomas, and she wants to confront him.
I'm her personal manager. I'm helping her.
How do you help? That you give 2/3 of your income. The government doesn't take that much money.
We're just surviving, man. If it wasn't for me, Divine would be nowhere, you know. I helped Divine launch her career, you know. And what helped, I helped Hugh Grant. Helped him get he got a new movie role.
What are you doing for her?
And this is Laura. She's here today because she's a housewife who saw Lomas on our show and decided that she wanted to become a prostitute. What will her husband say?
I feel about this big right now coming on national television to tell her how much I care about her, and I want her to marry me. I want to forget about...
Let's find out. Want to come inside?
This is a girl in Ireland who's making prank calls at the age of 8.
Oh, love it.
We will endeavour to bring you a few of these, but this is one about she doesn't like her school and she wants to get it demolished. So she goes to a demolition expert and tries to convince them.
Hello, Intercourse.
Hi, is that the demolition place?
It is, yeah.
Could you help me to destroy my school, please?
Just bear with me a second. Hello?
Hi.
What school do you go to?
I go to a school in Dublin.
And you want it demolished?
Yeah. Do you use a big wrecking ball, or how do you knock it down?
A big ball.
Right.
Well, hold on 1 wee second, please.
Hello?
How are you? My name is Becky.
Yes.
I have a proposal for you.
Go ahead.
Are you the demolition man?
Yes.
You're the top boss, yeah?
Go ahead. What's the crack? Hello?
I want you to help me destroy my school.
You want it blown up?
Can you blow it up or knock it down?
Whatever you want done.
I'll blow it up, that would be better. Can you make sure that all my teachers are in there when you knock it down?
I don't know if I get away with that now.
You will, nobody likes them. They give me extra homework on a Friday and everything.
Where are you calling from?
From Dublin.
What school in Dublin?
The one that's about to fall down.
There's a lot of schools in Dublin about to fall down.
And how much would it cost to knock it to the ground?
It depends how big it is.
Give me a ballpark figure.
He's not there. Give me a ballpark figure. Oh, Jesus. Here's that, hey.
Is this a demolition company or a joke factory?
It's a joke factory at the minute, hey. It's a joke factory.
Listen, are you going to come and knock my school down or what?
Well, Shirley, can you fax me through your photograph or a site plan or something?
Right, I'll fax you through a plan of the school and my teachers' names.
Yeah, no problem, yeah.
And you just make sure that they're all in the building when you knock it down.
You put all their names on it. I'll give you a price for each individual teacher.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
When the school falls down, will it make a crash or a wallop?
Well, to say hey in Belfast, it'll make a big bang.
Sounds good. Oh, listen, I'll talk to you later, top man.
Sound, good luck, hey. You look after yourself.
Fill your boots, man.
Hey, good luck.
See you after.
Fill
your boots, man.
I love that. Give me a ballpark figure.
She's got a big future ahead. Big cheat.
Definitely. Look at the...
Not since Dracula stalked the earth has the world known so terrifying a day or night.
It is I who renounce you, and in the name of Satan, I place a curse upon you.
Black Sunday is like no motion picture you've ever seen. There are those who believe and those who do not. But both must know the suspense, the shock of meeting the living dead and of bringing the dead to life.
Look into my eyes. Embrace me. You will die, but I can bring you pleasures mortals cannot know.
Black Sunday, the most terrifying motion picture you'll ever see. Satan, wearing strange robes and fighting with all the furies of Hades, arouses the countryside to a frenzy of black terror.
The lens of a motion picture projector is a brilliant, penetrating eye. An eye which can cut through many barriers. On the screen, the barrier of size can be surmounted as students see microscopic subjects enlarged to the point of easy visibility. The barrier of time is circumvented as an extended process appears to be speeded up through the use of time-lapse photography. Or as the past is recreated and brought vividly to life for your students. Barriers to understanding are removed as complex subjects unfold in simplified detail through the use of animation, which can diagram happenings that often cannot be seen in any other way. The eye of the motion picture projector cuts through the barrier of distance to let students observe people and places half a world away. To witness the drama while they consider the problems of our times. And finally, students can see through the use of classroom films what they need to understand as they develop their skills for the future. The lens of a motion picture projector is an eye that can help you stimulate, motivate, educate your students. But like any eye, it must be pointed in the right direction. Its wise use demands selectivity. Behind the eye, there must be a brain, your brain, making the selection, choosing the perspective that serves your goals, that implements whatever behavior changes you may want to effect in your students. Films made for the classroom have several purposes. It helps when you're choosing a film to know that there is a connection between the purpose of that film and the techniques used to achieve that purpose. Now we'll consider the first of various purposes for which classroom films are designed. To communicate information. Now, what techniques are most often employed in information films? Well, one technique, obviously, is a factual presentation, with the camera documenting actual events so that they become visual experiences. Let's look at excerpts from two films which illustrate distinctive techniques for imparting vividness and immediacy to factual material. The first film documents life in a woodlot.
In unchecked supremacy, it was the hawk that got the snake. The twist which brought death to the snake brought a reprieve to the grouse chick, but a grouse fell prey to a fox. The predator's action will pluck out the surplus, the unfit and the foolish.
In this story of life in a woodlot, the filmmaker took his camera to the scene of the action. He documented facts carefully and accurately at the moment when they occurred. In this film, students see the real thing. But let's take a look at another excerpt from a film in which the subject matter required the substitution of an actual event for one as nearly like it as possible.
You don't have to see it, you kill it with Flit. New Flit doesn't need a direct hit. Flit vapor goes anywhere. So if there's an insect there, you should murder it with Flit.
New Flit House and Garden Insect Killer works the way an exterminator does.
New Flit doesn't need a direct hit.
New Flit releases a superfine mist which spreads as a potent vapor. Smells pleasant to people, but bugs start to die the instant they breathe it.
Flit vapor goes anywhere, so if there's an insect there.
New Flit doesn't mist. Floats where flying insects go, flushes out crawling insects, and flattens them. And New Flit Superfine Mist plus Vapor sprayed directly even kills garden pests. Specify New Flit House and Garden Insect Killer because
you don't need a direct hit with Flit.
Okay, so you're a caveman?
The supernatural powers of the evil eye claim still another victim. Its malevolent enjoyment of tantalizing torture hangs threateningly over John Saxon, Letitia Roman, and Valentina Corteza.
Oh, she was always against me. She hated me.
Madness. And the maddening aura that destroys reason fills their every breath with the smell of death.
Miss Dawson, have you ever seen a murder before?
No, I've never seen anything like that. Never.
Oh, stop playing games, will you, Landini? I don't know what you're trying to do, but I know that you're involved in this. Perhaps Nora has seen the killer. But how do we know that he hasn't seen her?
The evil eye, like relentless tides, reaches out for them. And they defiantly hold ecstasy and horror in their arms and touch lips with terror, while the evil eye watches their every kiss and invades their subconscious.
When I come here just to memorialize him, and you see that, you know, people have taken things from him, it really breaks your heart. It does something to you, but then it's happened so many times, then you start to get mad.
What the hell do you want?
Mrs. Carter.
What the hell do you want?
We're calling today to ensure you're getting the best value and service. BT have got an offer to you.
Fucking phone call up your pissing ass and get me off this. This is an ex-directly phone and that includes fucking British Telecom. Okay. We pay the fucking bills, now get the fuck off my phone line. Do you understand?
I understand, sir.
Good.
Right.
Well, make sure it's fucking written down and don't ring me again.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll come and sling your scrawny fucking neck and I mean physically.
No problem.
Do you comprehend?
Yeah, all it takes is a couple of seconds.
I've told you to go and fuck off.
No problem.
Do you comprehend?
Yeah, no problems. Thank you for your time.
Don't ever ring again.
Right. Thank you for your time then, sir. Thank you for using BT. Got him. Jesus Christ, Diane. Could you do me a favour and listen to that last call for me, please?
They say it takes two to tango. Spanish fly on the wall. Una Monte que no tango. Spanish fly on the wall. Ay, 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 ay. Where could I find a hot tamale? Lady Spanish fly. I've been asking the worm in the bottle, but it's no help at all. Could you answer me just one question? Spanish fly on the wall. Where could I find a hot tamale, a little Spanish fly? Where could I find a hot tamale, little Spanish fly?
Hi, I'm Anita Burns. This is An Open Mind. Welcome. My guest today is Cher Starwaz, someone I have known for a very, very long time. We go back, 20 years or so?
At least.
Yeah, and I've always had a great admiration for her skills and her ability as an extraordinary psychic. She works in a rather unusual way from many of the psychics I've known. In that she is pretty straightforward and honest and blunt about what she sees for you. And I've always appreciated that and had a great respect for that. So, welcome, Cher.
I'm trying to think of something really blunt to say to you now.
Well, I remember one time when I came to you for a reading. I'd been in a relationship I was thinking about getting out of, and you just laid it out and said, "Girl, you stayed too long at the party. Get your butt out of there." Best advice I could have had.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
No,
I
thank
get a couple of stories like that
Yeah,
now and
thank
then.
you.
Yeah. Well, here's how I think about that. Is I feel that people are spending their good money to get a reading, and they want honesty and clarity, and why waste their time? You know, why give them the soft version of what they need to hear when they can call their mom and get that. I want them to know what their options are, what their options aren't, so they can make good decisions for their life. I'd like to give them the truth flat out so that they can make better choices. I don't think that by fiddling around with this and I don't know how to be anything but blunt. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of psychics, especially some who are new in the business, are a little afraid to say the bad news, or they don't really know how to talk to someone.
No bad news. Information is always good.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think some people are a little afraid of that, or they want to make the person happy or pleased, and so they're a little afraid to.
Or they have a
forward.
need to be liked.
Sometimes,
I don't care about.
sometimes, psychics are people too.
I don't care about people liking me or not.
Be the last blow for me, Elizabeth Holly. Let me taste sweet revenge. Please, let me cut into his heart.
behind dank walls, a nightmare world of horror and butchery awaits as a rotting corpse crawls from the earth to terrify the living.
No!
Beware of barren blood.
I would not play with the occult if I were you. One's obsession with it could be the real danger.
Barren blood. He earned his name through torture and death. The screams of his victims still echo in his chamber of horrors.
The Baron's will not only dominated this castle, but all the valley below. The people were necessary only for his convenience.
Was the Baron, and both your lives are in danger. You will try again.
Barren blood. He returns to avenge a witch's curse and reclaim his empire of evil.
Unleash the monster on the world. You must try to send him back.
Peter! Peter! The dog! He's coming in! Make it go away!
Barren blood. Starring Joseph Cotton and Elke Summer. Beware of barren blood.
In 1862, Salt Lake City police officer Henry Heath came forward to pay the burial expenses for an outlaw killed in a shootout, who was then interred at the Salt Lake City Cemetery. When the family of the man stepped forward a week later to claim the body, the entire town was shocked to find the outlaw completely naked in his coffin, robbed of all of his clothing. The investigation led quickly to the house of Jean Baptiste, the grave digger for the cemetery. In Baptiste's home, police found nearly 60 pairs of children's and adult shoes, clothing, and personal belongings, robbed from as many as 300 graves. Baptiste was arrested and sent to jail. An angry mob gathered outside the jail, threatening to lynch Baptiste. Brigham Young had to assure the crowd that their loved ones would rise up in the resurrection in their proper burial clothes, whether they remained intact or had been robbed. At the same time, the police did their best to fix the problem by taking all the stolen clothes found in Baptiste's home and buried them in their own grave at the cemetery. Grave robbing was not a capital offense, and the police knew they'd have to let Baptiste go sooner or later, and since the public was so enraged by his crimes, they decided that banishing him would be the best course of action. They tattooed on his forehead the words, "For robbing the dead," and he was taken in exile to Fremont Island on the Great Salt Lake. After 3 weeks of his banishment, cattle ranchers visited the island to check on their animals, to find that one of their cows had been killed and wood had been torn from the ranch house located on the island. It's assumed Baptiste used the wood to fashion a raft, but he was never heard from again. Whether he drowned in the Great Salt Lake or made a new life somewhere, the world may never know, leaving us one of Salt Lake City's greatest unsolved mysteries.
Oh, you startled me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's just that I'm...
Oh, you don't have to explain, Rosemary. In the mornings when I look into a shaving mirror, I frighten myself.
You do?
Well, how would you react to the sight of a razor held against your throat by Boris Karloff?
Boris, I'm afraid you've been seeing too many of your own movies.
Well, perhaps. But I confess someday I would like to do something a little different. Maybe a show for children.
Boy, that'd get them to eat their spinach. I tell you what, why don't we see how you would make out with the kiddies show, right after this message from our host.
Attention, all you TV announcers. Don't ever get into an argument with a cameraman. Look what happens. All because of a slight difference of opinion between me and the cameraman about berries for breakfast. I like strawberries with half and half. Now cut that out. He likes raspberries with half and half. Well, anyway, you can see we agree on one thing. We both want plenty of Golden State half and half. Yes, Golden State's bountiful blend of rich milk and thick farm cream just makes those berries bubble with delight. And at the price Golden State Half and Half sells for, this is a mighty economical way to treat your taste buds to a royal, rich, creamy flavor. So, with the berries of your choice, season by season, all year round, make your choice Golden State Half and Half. Just sunbursting with rich, delicious flavor.
Hello there, boys and girls. Are you all ready for another story from your Uncle Boris? Good. Pull up your chairs nice and close to the television set. Careful there, Guy Michael, not on the pussycat's tail. That's better, dear. Now let's begin our story. It's called Little Red Riding Hood. No, 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 Sarah Jane. It is not about a red-headed hood who is taken for a ride. Shame on you for even thinking of such a thing. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Once upon a time, on the edge of the forest, there lived a pretty little girl named, you guessed it, Little Red Riding Hood. Well, as you can see, she wasn't so very little, but she certainly was a looker. A pretty little girl. Oh dear, I said that, didn't I? Well, one day, as she was walking through the forest to her grandmother's house, whom did Little Red meet but the brave and handsome woodcutter?
First time that I saw you as you went passing by, I knew my searching days were through. Then I made my mind up that you would soon know why. That's when I started telling as can be. One glance at you meant love from the start, and oh, what a thrill came into my heart, little girl, with your cute little ways. I am yours for the rest of my days. This great big world will be divine, little girl, when you're mine, little girl, when you're mine, all mine.
Just lovely.
So's this cookie.
Stop. These are for my grandma, and you're not my grandma. Bye.
Oh, it's only you, Big Bad Wolf. For a minute there, I thought it was
Boris Karloff. Yes, I know. Everybody tells me that.
Starring Vincent Price, who, inspired by a seductive woman, is overpowered with lust to kill. Peter Lorre, too sensitive for both the life he lives and the lives he takes.
Butterfingers.
Boris Karloff, the ancient one, with a fount of sweet memories.
Alexander the Great embalmed in honey, so they say.
Abundantly blessed, Joyce Jameson, an unhappy, unkissed bride.
Aren't you coming to bed, husband?
Rhubarb, the cat in the house of unholy horror. Amazing Joey Brown, shockingly amazed. And inimitable Basil Rathbone.
Haven't you, sir?
Whose wrath will slash you to the bone. A mad killer, like the angel of death, stalks his next victim.
You're here because you're dead, Mr. Black.
The hell I am.